Satanists and paedophiles run the world. Christians love paedophilia, says Church of Satan. Of course they did. Michelle Obama. Michelle's a man. Have a quick look at that. Yeah. That's a man. Satanists are blaming Christians for the actions of Roy Moore. The Church of Satan wants Christians to know that when it comes to paedophilia, it has the moral high ground. Really? Well, you know, Satanism and paedophilia are not connected to Freemasonry and all the other organisations then, is it? Alright. The satanic organisation took advantage of the child sex allegations against Alabama state candidate Roy Moore and support for Moore from local pastors to herald Tuesday that Christians love paedophilia. Child abuse is directly forbidden in the Satanic Bible, which members of the church follow. Church rep said, Christians, whoever, have been abusing children for centuries. They own this. No, we haven't. Well, who have been? The Catholic Church have been, and they're not Christian. They're Jesuits. They're Satanists. Come on, man. Church of Satan is saying this. You know, are you kidding me? People believe it. Many of the people come lukewarm Christians out there and New Age nonsense. Many of the people coming to the defence of Moore decree the horrors of moral relativism, but then equivocate when one of their own is cruising shopping malls for underage prey. Reverend Raoul Anthony of the Church of Satan told Newsweek, many of the comments we see from Christians even take the allegations as given and excuse his behaviour through the teachings of the Bible. Alright, let's talk about Satanism and what their teachers, and Anton LaVey and Aleister Crowley. Yeah, right. So these people are paedophiles, saying that Christians are paedophiles because we're the ones creating all these heinous acts. And this is all about persecution of truthers, people who are speaking the truth, like me. Anyone else out there, keep doing what you're doing, and you must have to die for your beliefs, just like Jesus Christ, as it says in the Bible, even though that story is thousands of years older. But the Son of God is, the Son of Enki, our Creator. The Old and New Testament do have instances of mean marrying and bedding women who were likely underage, as a Balaam State auditor Jim Ziegler pointed out when defending Moore. Zechariah was extremely old to marry Elizabeth, and they became the parents of John the Baptist, said Ziegler. Mary was just a teenager when she married the much older Joseph, though they didn't have marital relations. The Christian Bible has a lot to say about sexual morality, but never directly addresses paedophilia. Numbers 31 has Moses command soldiers following a war to kill all men and older women, but to keep the female children alive as captives, though not for sexual purposes. But all the women children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. Verse 18. A number of Catholic priests, nuns and members of religious orders have been charged with sexually abusing hundreds of children over the past 3 decades. Hello, the Catholic Church is not Christian. Fuck you. So yeah, the Catholic Church has been doing it under Christianity's name, but it's not the Christians that are doing it, it's the Catholics and the bloody Zionists and the globalists, yet again, blaming Christianity. Some activists are speaking out against fundamental Christian culture, which they encourage Moore's behaviour. We should probably talk about how there is a segment of evangelism and homeschool culture where the only thing Roy Moore did wrong was initiating sexual contact outside of marriage. Catherine Brightbill of the Coalition for Responsible Home Education tweeted, 14-year-old girls courting adult men isn't entirely uncommon. No, because it's part of our cultural problem. but Christian leaders are speaking out against sexual misconduct and making it clear that they don't believe it has a place in their religion. A church that worships Jesus stands for vulnerable women and girls, said Russell Moore, president of the Andrew Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission. Disgusting men. And Ed Stetzer, executive director of the Billy Graham Center for Evangelism, told the faithful during a sermon that the proper Christian response to someone who says they was abused is to say, I believe you, and show mercy. Absolutely. Tell me about it so you can get over it. The only way you have to deal with mental abuse, and the only way to do that is through accepting it and moving on. Paedophiles put themselves under LGBT umbrella and rebranding efforts. Paedophile groups trying to destigmatize paedophilia by calling themselves minor attracted persons rather than paedophiles. MAPS. Gay groups are up in arms because in the process the same paedophile group is claiming to be part of the LGBT community, even have gone so far as to create their own version of the rainbow flag for Gay Pride Month. Keep an eye out for that flag, people. The paedophile flag will be flying really soon, and people will be behind it and they won't know why. This should come as no surprise. In essence, the MAP group is attempting to rehitch its wagon to the gay community, which, for the sake of political and judicial expediency distanced themselves from the paedophile cause beginning for a few decades ago. It's already interlinked together. The reason why LGBT's in there is because they want to make paedophilia more acceptable. See the connection. For the last dozen years or so, the gay rights movement has focused the lion's share of its energy on what appears to many to be conservative issues, winning same-sex marriage and the right to apply openly served in the military. Yet, the warm, fuzzy, family-oriented American as baseball and apple pie picture of the gay culture present in the world by gay activists is a far cry from the movement's origins. In the 1960s and 70s, groups like NAMBLA were an integral part of the coalition. NAMBLA, National American Boy Lover Association. Is that not sick enough? The deep roots of the gay movement were overtly anti-religious and anti-nuclear family, and pretty much reduced all human beings to nothing more than sexual objects. Gay libertarian was also about sexual liberation for all, no matter what age. It's ironic now that gays, and especially married, gay and lesbian couples, are part of the establishment. They express revulsion over the paedophiles' identification with gay rights. They use their agenda to be alright, but they don't see the agenda that they're using for their own purpose to be gay and that. The Prevention Network aims to rebrand paedophilia as a non-dangerous attribute of minor attracted persons who look but don't touch, utilising stories and testimonies to humanise what would be child molesters. The PreventionNetwork.org website declares that everyone, including minor attracted persons and MAPS, deserve support. So they want to make paedophilia acceptable and you to accept it into our society and our culture. Here are a sample of, and this is how they do it, through labels, and names. Here's a sample of a story that attempts to appear to readers' sympathy while rehabilitating the reputation of MAPS as a non-threatening good guy. John was suicidal. He had been bullied by trolls on social media for most of his life, and for being different, the bullies were primarily people who claimed, based on their religious beliefs, that John was going to hell and deserved to die. Now, that's not true. It all depends on your actions and your beliefs. They described how they would kill him on his Twitter page, and people supported their hate. Desperate for help, John sought treatment for his shame, depression and suicidality. Although he was scared to share about himself with a stranger, he felt desperate for help, as no one had desired to harm anyone, ever. Once he shared about his attraction to children, his therapist told him, "I don't treat sex offenders." First, let's be clear. John is not a child molester, nor is he a sex offender. He is attracted to children. He is also fervent about helping prevent child sex abuse by speaking about against it, and by showing his support for global child sex abuse prevention programs on his social media. John deserves support, as do others who have minor attractions to children. After all, isolation and depression are known to increase one risk of doing something they might regret, like suicide. See how they're using suicide as a term here to make John more acceptable in the society because he likes to look at young children. Maps. He's a map. John is a map. He's not really a paedophile. Paedophiles are like, yeah, they do the action, but maps just like to look at the pictures of young children. They don't like to touch. Disgusting. By the way, we have talked to Janes, who are women who are identified as anti-contact, non-offending paedophiles, and like John, they have no desire to sexually harm children. Janes and Johns, you see that, ladies and gentlemen? Janes, gay, warns kids. This is a flag for paedophiles. This, to say that gays are alarmed by this move is an underestimation. In referring to the above story, Gay Star News said, considering the long-standing probe that LGBTI people are rapists and child molesters, the fact that those who actually have attraction to children are attempting to co-opt LGBTI spaces is disturbing. Many on social media are warning LGBTI people and allies to be very wary of Maps flag during Pride season. Additionally, many also called out the problematic nature of using a term like minor attracted persons to normalise paedophilia. Here is normalisation, people. This is how they're doing it. Normalisation through changing the language. Maps. Through spells. Here is a sampling of gays, lesbians and their supporters trying to distance themselves from the MAP effort to cozy back up to the gay movement. They want no part of the pedosexual rainbow flag and want to be first to warn minors about the danger these folks present. Now what these gay people don't realise is that they're literally using the same flags as the fucking Freemasons believe anyway. The rainbow. And there you go. Watch out, people. The paedophile flag is created for Maps. Basically, a paedophile, they go by lots of terms like no map or so map and stuff like that, saying if they're non-offending or they ask for consent from the child, that's okay. They say don't use paedophile as an umbrella term, but regardless of its neophilia, infants, and paedophilia, pubescence, or ephophilia, pubescence, it's wrong and against the law. They're putting your faces on their support flag. I just thought you might want to know, maybe inform everyone else in the MCU that they're going to be slammed on there too. They're using you guys as a support system for being sexually attracted to children. So, this is the agenda. That's exactly what's going on. Pearl Desmond here. Desmond is amazing. Look at the eyes. He's been abused. 11-year-old drag kid dances in popular New York City gay club as patrons toss money at him. Perhaps sensing the horrific optics of the event, LGBT news sites have audaciously avoided reporting that their favourite 11-year-old drag kid, Desmond is Amazing, danced on stage in a New York gay bar while adult men patrons tossed money his way as if he were a male stripper. The pre-adolescent boy, dressed in drag to imitate singer Gwen Stefani, pranced around the stage at Brooklyn $3 Bill, an LGBT bar described as queer-owned and operated, and Brooklyn premier queer bar and performance venue, all owned and operated by the same Freemasons. While none of the major LGBT news sites have chosen to highlight Desmond Amazing's performance at the club, some liberals and gays have taken to social media to criticise, if not condemn, the event. Right, because you've got an 11-year-old in drag dancing in an 18-year-old bar. 11-year-olds are too young to be performing at bars. This should be illegal. Declared God is not real on Twitter, adding, "I'm a liberal Democrat." You understand? This is what they want. They want to confuse the minds of the children to make them dress in cross-dress. I left after seeing a child dance on stage for money at night time. This was on Saturday night, and I have been feeling disturbed ever since, said the patron on Yelp. I never said the club exploits children and sexualizes them in wee hours of the morning, and then warned it has provided just the ammunition to homophobies everywhere and endangered the community. Other patrons complained on Yelp about the club's weird no cell phone policy. There you go, not allowed your phone in there. The disturbing event was first reported by Yosef Otzia of Media and YouTube video, which was in turn reported by Milo Yiannopoulos' Dangerous website. Desmond Napoles, who goes by the drag stage name Desmond is Amazing, is a barely 11 years old, yet homosexual and mainstream media has thrusted him into the spotlight as the face of the growing prepubescent gay transgender movement. Your children are going to go through this if you do not wake up. ABC's Good Morning America recently devoted a segment to the boy, during which his cross-dressing was celebrated as an example of individuality, and his parents were praised for their support of his drag hobby because they're Freemasons. What parent thinks it's right to do this to their child? Child abuse. The segment also treated Napoli's surprise visit by iconic drag queens Heather Lettuce, Chanel and Elisa Edwards. I've seen the video, it's disturbing. The performance lavish praise on the boys' activities as courageous, inspirational, and the future of drag. They also presented the boy with a number of gifts, including a gift basket of makeup and unicorn bag with fake nails and other assorted items and more. The unicorn is a symbol of the LGBT movement. It's a Freemason symbol. Desmond has been featured in the New York City Homosexual Pride Parade more than once. His online biography states that he was born in Manhattan during New York Pride Week in June 2007, and that he came out of the closet when he was born. Right, because that's not true, is it? Desmond has been the undisputed and most beloved young star of New York City Pride since 2015, when he danced his way into everyone's hearts at the New York City Pride March in his choice of rainbow tutu and sparkling gold beret. Overnight, Desmond's story was featured in New Now Next, Yahoo, Paris Hilton and Out magazine. Quickly, you see the connections between all the other people that are connected to Desmond is amazing. Quickly, he became an internet sensation, and he was well known by millions of worldwide. Desmond's mother acquaintance created a Facebook fan page called Desmond is Amazing to share his continuing journey with others. The name stuck, and Desmond decided to use it as his official stage name. Criticism from social conservatives has been equally critical. The left is applauding the sexual abuse of this child. The left is applauding the sexual abuse of this child, tweeted Matt Walsh. This is why decent and rational people want nothing at all to do with leftism. It only promotes, advocates and celebrates child sex abuse, but it's the same as the right. You don't understand. They're all the same people. His mother recently posted that he is autistic and his difficulty interacting with people, which makes it all even worse because of the vaccines that he had as a child. Noted another on Twitter, why are they exploiting their own children like this? It's sick. A 10-year-old kid who calls himself Desmond is Amazing was allowed to dance on stage at a gay bar in Brooklyn 2 weeks ago while half-naked men showing him money. Absurd. And you need to look into Hollywood. You need to look into the actors that all play their roles as transgender or cross-dressing. The page is not loading, so I'll just rant a little bit more about Hollywood and how basically they show you the truth in the movies, lie to you in the media for their agendas, and now we're headed for the fall of grace, the dumbest time of society, of humanity's ever been. So here we go, more transgender celebrities. Lauren Cox, 70 of them. Eric Irving, Chaz Bono, Gigi Camarera, Lily Vakovsky, Tracy Lizette, Catherine Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, Alexis Arquette, Isis King, Jazz Jennings, Candice Kane, James Clayton, Our Lady, and it goes on and on and on. And Hollywood is these people are in all walks of life. So Venus sisters are both born boys. Michelle Obama, a lot of the celebrities on TV, they're all not what you think they are. And so, as much as I've been talking about, the psychology and what this gender's going to do, don't take it from me, but take it from this guy, Jordan Peterson, who is a psychologist and who is trying to battle this demon movement. Like I said, look into him. And so, closing down now, there are a few things that we can do. We need to raise awareness of, Freemasonry for one, and there is a website as well as countless books that you can download for free online about Freemasonry, including this one, the history, the Freemasonic architecture of history. There's some interesting things in there that you might find hidden in plain sight. Like I said, that are cities that are pentagrams and stuff. And then there's a website, Freemasonry Watch, and essentially they're a website that is against Freemasonry and exposing it. So loads. Because these people need to be exposed. Like I said, they're satanic paedophiles, the most corrupt and evil, vile people on this planet that we all work for. And so this website here is vast, and it goes into very, very good amount of detail of, way more than what I've put into this video or videos. And then the last one is Deborah Travaris's StopTheCrime.net. Now this has to do with the genocide which is taking place, and how you must understand the enemy, the Freemasonry, the devices, and why they're doing the things they're doing to us, humanity. And so I'm going to leave it on this page, and I will link all the articles up. And I hope now that you kind of see that when you start looking into history, looking into Freemasonry, looking into the occult, looking into knighthoods and their ways, that you'll see that these people are the ones that are causing all the chaos to create their new world order, and that includes our genocide through technology. Because technology can be good and bad, but at the end of the day, evil is, we are creating technology to be manipulated by evil. So awareness is everything, and truth is your only salvation in this world. You have an immortal soul. Do not be feared of death, but know that you must seek salvation through knowledge and understanding of the enemy. So on that note, I'd like to thank you for watching this series about Winston Churchill and the connections. Please subscribe, like, comment. Thank you very much for watching.